Awesome! Alright, now you guys know the insane importance of really allowing others to save face, which is super critical and super awesome, so congratulations on that. What I want to do now is I want to transition into kind of a greater sort of impact and personal growth concept that's really, really critical. And I remember reading this chapter for the first time, and the second time, the third time, the fourth time, and every single time I read it and continue to read it, like, it always has this big epiphany, like there's just this big, oh my gosh, no freaking way moment. And it's just phenomenal. So I'm super, super excited to share it with you. So with that said, let's get into how to spur people on to success. Because if you can enable others to succeed, you're gonna be freaking crushing it. And that's the goal, that's the dream, and that's really the passion, which is really cool. So the way it starts out is it's pretty basic. Pete Barlow was actually kind of an old friend of Dale's, and he had a dog in Pontiac and spent his life traveling with circuses and shows. And you know, Dale loved to watch Pete train new dogs for his act. And it was just a really, really great place. And you know, he noticed that the moment a dog show had the slightest improvement, or a dog showed, you know, slightest improvement, here's the important part, right? This guy, he's got Pete and he's got all his dogs. If these guys improved even just a little bit, I mean just a teeny little bit, I don't care how much it was, if they went up maybe like 2%, if they jumped a little bit higher, this guy was so excited, so happy, like, oh my gosh, you're the coolest dog ever, woohoo! And he gave them just a ridiculous amount of praise, and said that they were phenomenal, gave them meat, made a humongous deal about even the slightest improvement. This is something that you should do, okay? Now, that's nothing new. Animal trainers have been using the same technique for centuries. Now here's the question for you. Why don't we use the same common sense when we're trying to change people that we use when we're trying to change dogs? I'll give you guys a great example of this. I remember long time ago, I was doing this project for psychology, and you know, every day we would get home and we had this big long driveway, and you know, the house is kind of like over here, and there's like a yard and stuff, and you got like a home, and you know, you park the car in here, and because it's like this big long driveway, there's a mailbox, and the mailbox is kind of like right here. So every day, you know, we'd come home and be in the car or whatever, and you know, like it's kind of, you like get out of the car, get the mail, and then drive in and park. It's just this whole big process. And I mean, you could do it, but my brother was always with me, right? So, you know, I would ask my brother over and over to go and get the mail while I parked the car. And so often, you know, he just wouldn't do it. And then maybe like 1 out of 10 times he would do it. And so, you know, when he did it, like, I was really helpful, because I didn't have to go park and then come back and then go back, and it's just, you know, just say like a minute or 5 or 10. Well, not 5, I mean, it's not that long of a walk, but it was just helpful, you know? And so I was thinking about this idea of operant conditioning, and basically, not a very tough idea. The idea is, if you get rewarded for doing something over and over and over again, you're gonna keep doing it. And if you get punished for doing something, you're gonna get, you know, you're not gonna do it. You're gonna stop doing it. And there's this idea of like positive rewards and negative. It's not, don't worry about it. Here's the foundation. You want to just totally ignore negativity, because we know that negativity doesn't work. Focus on positive, and focus on either taking away a negative or adding a positive into somebody's life. Great example of this, when you sit in a car and you know, you're in the passenger seat or whatever, and you don't put your seatbelt on, sometimes, you know, it starts to bing, ding, 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 until you put your seatbelt on. So that's an example of like positive reinforcement, removing a negative stimulus to promote you to do something really good. Similarly, what I did with my brother is every single time he got the mail, I would say, like, oh my God, awesome, congratulations, thank you so much, that's awesome. And I would give him this little piece of candy. And guys, it's gonna sound like stupid, but it freaking worked insanely well. After I started giving him candy, like after 2 or 3 times, he started to realize that, like, if he got the mail, he would get candy. And so every single day, he went from getting it once a day every, you know, week or two, to getting it every single day over and over and over and over and over again. And then what's cool is then, like, after a couple of months, I just stopped giving him candy, just stopped, and he just kept doing it over and over, because he's in the habit, right? Now he wants to do it. It's just the same thing with training any kind of person. Like, you really do want to think about it in a very basic common sense way of what would make somebody want to do something, what would make them want to do something in the long term, what would have a lasting impact, and train them to do something. And so here's kind of a cool example. Why do people, you know, like, use a whip instead of meat? You want to share, you know, good things, not bad things, right? You don't want to negatively harm somebody, or it's just not a good place to talk about or be, because praise or gifts or whatever, praise is so much more powerful than condemnation or negativity or any kind of bad emotion. It's just, yeah, it's awful. So if you have something anything and you want to strengthen the relationship, I mean, this wasn't just about males, this is about strengthening a relationship, right? If you want to really strengthen any kind of connection, you want to praise even the slightest improvement over and over and over again and inspire other people to keep on improving, because that's the key. Praise is like sunshine to the warm human spirit, and we cannot flower or grow without it. And yet, while most people are only ready to accept others and to accept from them sort of some cold winds of criticism, you have to be different and must share the warm sunshine of praise and accept praise. It's so insane how many people can't even accept praise. And you'll say, oh, that's a really, really nice jacket that you have on. And so many people, they can't even say thank you for, they're like, oh, well, your shoes are awesome. Or, oh, well, your hair is awesome, or something like that. Like, really, really great exercise you can do. And you can do this with somebody else, do this with a partner. Have one person tell somebody, you know, hey, I really like whatever about you. And then just say thank you, and then just walk away. What's this gonna do? It's gonna train you to get used to accepting praise. It's gonna train you to get used to being praised. Because when you're used to being praised, all of a sudden it's 10,000 times easier to actually give praise freely. That's the difference. That's the shift. That's the change that you wanna make. And so what I want you to do right now is I want you to pause this video. I don't care if you're in a car, on an airplane, at home, where else do people go? Out in public, I don't care where you are. Pause this video, find someone, okay, and ask them to give you some kind of compliment and just say thank you and walk away. And similarly, do the same thing with them and tell them the same exercise, and then tell them a compliment and ask them to just say thank you. And it might feel weird at the beginning because people are so used to just instantly responding to compliments with compliments, but what you need to be able to do is to take a compliment and just appreciate it for what it is without trying to, you know, get even with somebody. Because what that'll let you do is it'll let you play in a mental unequal field. It'll let you grow in a sense that you are used to receiving excess praise, and because of that, you are willing, able, and constantly giving out excess praise to others. So pause this, do that exercise, and preferably if you can find like a stranger to do it with, it's a lot, that's kind of the way I prefer to do it. It's a lot more powerful. It just depends on where you are right now. But a very, very, very powerful exercise that you can do to actually create a much deeper connection with yourself and with the praise that you're creating, which is just insanely powerful. So with that said, let's go back over here, okay? And Dale, he talks a little bit about looking back at his own life and, you know, kind of seeing a few words of praise that sharply changed his entire future. And it was really, really powerful. And so just a little bit of praise can literally change someone's entire course of life. Like, how big would it be for you to just give that out to people on a daily basis? Because I do it all the time. It's amazing. It feels phenomenal. Not because you get praise back, but because you're giving and giving and giving to others and helping them become more and feel more like they're better. Here's a great example. A long time ago, there was a boy. He was 10 years old, and he was working in a factory in Naples. And he longed to be a singer, but his first teacher discouraged him, and she said that he couldn't sing and that he didn't have any voice at all. And, you know, all of his sounds that he made sounded like wind in the shutters. But this guy's mother, who was a poor peasant woman, put her arms around him and praised him and praised him and praised him and told him that she knew he could sing and she could already see an improvement. And because she believed so much in her little son being out there and singing and giving joy to masses of people and having a huge impact, she did something absolutely phenomenal. She went barefoot in order to save money for music lesson. And the peasant mother's praise and encouragement changed this kid's life. But she gave up everything and gave everything that she had internally to this kid. Peasant's mom praised and encouraged him his whole life. And his name is Enrico Caruso, who became one of the greatest and most famous opera singers of his age. You think, I mean, it's harsh to see teachers deject students. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And like some of the most successful people I know, they were literally taught as though they were idiots. I remember a couple of people I know. There's one lady. She started this $100 million medical company. Absolutely crushed it. Phenomenal business. Sold it for hundreds and just huge eggs. And you know, she's in high school. She was getting taught like cervical class. She was just being taught like shorthand or how to be like a secretary. because at the time it's like super gender biased education system in a really, really poor area of town. Teachers would literally tell kids that they had no future, no opportunity. I remember I had this one teacher, he was the math teacher, and you know, he like saw me publish a book and like trading and all that stuff, and he's like, oh, he'll fail and he'll have to go and trade and he'll have to go work for other people and he'll never have a career. And it's like bogus. There are negative people in your life, and oh my god, it pains me to think about it, because negativity is a disease. You want to avoid it at all costs. And you see here that this kid's opera teacher told him it was crap, and he went out and changed the world. But you have to do it in the right way. You know, you can't do it in the wrong way.